Hola my friends, welcome back to A Life I Choose, the place to be to design your life so you can thrive. I haven't made a vlog since like April, May. And then we made some videos, like sort of informational videos, but not a vlog since then. And then in August we took some time out because we needed, well, I didn't really take a break, but we needed a break, but I didn't really take a break because I was working very hard on another project. And anyway, we've been focusing on other stuff. But this morning I was feeling kind of inspired to vlog. First of all, I have some very special news to share with you. And also something special is happening today, so I'd like to document it. And also I wanted to speak a bit about something that I've been going through the past few months that you guys had no idea about, and I want to share it because I hope that it will help someone else, or it will, you know, kind of contribute to somebody else's life in a positive way. The good news is that I'm pregnant. I'm 13 weeks pregnant, and I feel super blessed about it and happy. And I'm saying it in a bit of a sort of mechanical way because I don't know, I haven't spoken to the camera for a long time, but also it was a bit weird becoming pregnant because Pete and I had been trying for a while. We had been trying for about a year. We weren't managing, obviously. And so we said, okay, let's look into it, you know, maybe there's something going on here. And we went and we did some tests, and what we found was that I wasn't ovulating. And when the gynae told me, like, you're not ovulating, and you know you should be, it clicked, like it dawned on me that I hadn't ovulated for about a year. And I remember because, like, just before the workshop, not the last workshop, but the workshop before that, so 2019, towards the end of 2019, I remember telling Pete, like, I don't think I ovulated this month. And at the time, I said it kind of like as a joke, like I meant it, but I kind of said it like, I've had so much going on, like I've been so focused on work that like I think that my body like forgot to ovulate. Like I think that my body didn't prioritize ovulating. And at the time I like didn't really think it was possible, even though I knew it was. And I just kind of laughed it off and just thought, like, whatever, it's been a busy time, you know. It was a super busy time with the workshop. And in fact, when the workshop was over in 2020, I was really tired and I was pretty burnt out, actually. I loved the workshop and we got such positive results from it, and so many people gained positive results from it, which was beautiful. At the same time, it took a lot of energy, and at the time I was still doing things. I mean, I had Nick, obviously, and Nick helped me a lot with the content creation and stuff like that, but like for the workshop I was mostly doing things on my own. And so I was working around the clock and seeing clients and everything, and I was just, I was like really tired. And I had been working at this rate for a long time, you know. Building a life I choose has been one of the most fulfilling journeys of my life, and it's also been one of the most tiring journeys of my life. Like it's a lot of energy, and whilst you can take breaks occasionally, I will not drop my momentum, like, you know, because it's important to keep growing, it's important to keep moving, because, you know, if you go stagnant, then you start to go backwards. So it has been tiring, you know, kind of, it's a lot of energy to build a business, and, you know, you're constantly dealing with stuff being sort of thrown at you, you know, like obstacles and circumstances and your own self-doubt and fear and whatever, so that you're constantly having to move through. So I was pretty tired. This was like February of last year, and then, you know, I told myself I was going to take a bit of a break, I was going to recover, but at the same time, like, a lot of people were interested in sessions after the workshop, so I was taking care of that. And then COVID hit, and whereas a lot of people sort of experienced a bit of a slowdown during COVID, I got super busy, not in terms of like, oh, all of these clients signed up or anything, because there was actually a bit of a lull for 2 months. What I chose to do was I chose to basically provide as much value as I could through my Instagram. So I was doing a lot of Q&As, and I was really trying to be there for people as much as possible. And it really paid off. Like, it was amazing. And I feel like on Instagram, I've sort of created even more trust with my following, and it's been kick-ass. I've really enjoyed it. But it just didn't stop. And obviously I was dealing with the changes of COVID just like everyone else, you know, and with the fears and everything. So it was a really busy year with a lot going on, a lot of change. And so, you know, Pete and I were trying and not managing. So when the gynae told me, like, you're not ovulating, I was like, oh yeah, like, I don't think I've ovulated for at least a year. And, you know, the gynae suggested, like, taking meds and saying kind of, you know, I don't think IVF is an option when you don't ovulate. I don't know, don't quote me, but I don't think it is. But basically these meds that the gynae suggested would sort of like stimulate you into ovulation, or at least that's like the hope. But obviously, like, I have a history of fibromyalgia, and I had a bilateral dissection of the carotid arteries, which caused a transient ischemia, which is like a mini stroke. I had been on medication for a while, and I worked really hard to get myself off medication. I really wasn't keen on going down the medication route to deal with this issue, because my reasoning was, look, if I'm not ovulating, something's off balance, right? I'm out of balance in some way. So to throw medication at it and try to overstimulate me is just gonna throw me off balance even more, and then I'm gonna have to rebalance, and it's gonna be stressful as well. Like, there are all these rules around when you take the medication and when you can have sex and all of this stuff, and I just didn't want that at all. So I was like, okay. And obviously all of this decision making happened with Pete, you know, because we're doing this together. So I said, okay, I'm just going to read about, you know, the female body and ovulation and what supports ovulation, what can block ovulation, and all of this stuff. I'm going to learn as much as I can, and I'm going to apply what I learn, and I'm going to take my time with it. It wasn't all like super easy. I wasn't just like, oh, you know, it's all going to be fine, because the truth is it was scary, and being told I wasn't ovulating, it just really broke my heart, in all honesty. And there were some nights where I'd wake up and I'd just burst out crying, like about 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever, just wake up in the middle of the night and just burst out crying. It was like I was grieving, and, you know, I didn't know if I would ever fix this. I didn't know that, you know, if I would ever be able to have children. And it was tough. Like, it was really, it wasn't easy at all. And in fact, I did some therapy around it and stuff. And anyway, it was a journey. So I want to share with you a bit about the things that I read. So I read a book called Period Power by Maisie Hill, and I also read another book called Rushing Women's Syndrome by Libby Weaver. And both of these books taught me about the female cycle that, before I read the book, probably assumed I knew stuff about from what I'd learned in school. But the truth is, they didn't teach us shit at school, and I wish that they would have taught us this stuff. It really, like, helped me to make sense, you know. Our bodies are different from males' bodies, and, you know, the way, the rhythms that we have, and the things that we need, and the paces that we need to work at. And, you know, we live in a culture that is very male dominated, especially in terms of work rhythm. And women, you know, the expectation is for us to work in the same way that men work, and it's just working against our systems. So anyway, I'm not going to go into the books. If you're interested in these books, do check them out. They're super helpful. But basically, my biggest takeaways from it was that, you know, the body's not gonna ovulate if it's in a state of fight or flight. So if it's in a state of stress or burnout or just constant going, the body's not gonna relax and be like, oh, send me a baby, like, you know, because the body's like, I'm working all the fucking time, like there's no space for a baby right now, off, you know, switch it off. So so that's pretty much the state that I was in. You know, I was working a really lot. I still work a lot. But anyway, so what I decided to do was I followed the guidance from these books, and you know, the diet changes I had already made to address my fibromyalgia, so that stuff was already taken care of. But what I did was I sort of engaged in more relaxation practices. Like I committed to my meditation even more, as much as possible. I gave myself more time to read, and I also invested in more sort of self-care, like massage and things like that. Like I would go and have a treatment done once a week for a few months, and it was a good amount of money, but I saw it as an investment. Like it was an investment in my health. You know, I could do that or take the meds, like whatever. And so I did that, and it really helped me. And I did notice that through the repetition of the massage and craniosacral therapy and all this stuff, my body learned to move into rest and digest easier, which was beautiful. Also, when I was told that I wasn't ovulating, I knew, you know, I'm a psychotherapist and a lifestyle strategist. I work with cognition constantly, thoughts, beliefs, and how our beliefs impact our physiology. And I knew that I had conflicting beliefs around having children. I had internal conflict. And the internal conflict was, you know, if I have children, I'm gonna lose everything that I've worked so hard to build, right? My business. At the time, I was freelancing, so my business functioned so long as I functioned, and I made money so long as I was with my clients. So the thought, you know, I'm gonna have kids and I wanna be with my kids, so that's gonna like have to lessen or stop, just completely like freaked me out. So I know that our bodies completely work with our brains, like they completely work with our beliefs. So I was like, okay, I need to address this inner conflict because it's been with me for a while, and I need to overcome these limiting beliefs that I can't grow a business and also be present with my children. So I worked with my coach, you know, and we discussed this, and what we did was we started creating a plan, right? From my problem, my limiting belief, we defined my outcome. My outcome was to create a thriving business, to continue to grow a life I choose, and be present with my children, right? And welcome my children into this world with joy and make space for them. Then my next challenge was to create the strategies to do this. So we created personal and professional strategies and action steps. And some of them included, you know, defining what are the support structures that I need to be able to make this happen on a professional level and also on a personal. So on a personal, things like having somebody to sort of cook every so often, or having somebody to come and clean every so often, or, you know, kind of finding somebody to babysit, you know, like twice a week while I work, or 3 times a week, or whatever, or you know, this kind of stuff. Like what's the support structure that I need to have in place to help me to continue to run my business and be a present mother. And then some of the professional support structures were, okay, like how can I, you know, continue growing a life I choose? Well, I needed a personal assistant. This I knew. I had been needing a personal assistant for a while. So in January, I hired a personal assistant. So now not only does Nick work with me, Elaine also works with me now, and which has been great. And I also said, okay, look, I'm at a point where, you know, I'm fully booked. I have clients booking to work with me months in advance. I hate making them wait. I hate making current clients wait for their next package, because very often clients want to take one package after another. So I said, okay, how am I going to address this? And I decided to start training qualified therapists and coaches in my methodology, in the methodology that I created, because basically what we do at A Life I Choose is it's a combination of coaching and therapy, so that you can go within to really figure out what it is you want, and then boom, create the outcomes, the strategies, take the action steps, and really celebrate it to make the change happen. So you don't stop at just the healing like with therapy, and you don't only have the action, you have a combination of both. Like, this is the beauty of the methodology, and this is why it's so effective, and this is why I became fully booked, because my clients create the results that they want, and it's awesome, and I'm very, very proud of this methodology. So what I've done is I've started training qualified therapists and coaches in my methodology and started sending clients to them, which has been kick-ass. So another thing I've been doing is creating my first digital product, which will be launched around May, I think. You know, and I've also been redoing my website. I have people doing this for me, it's not me, so that we can host the product and all of this stuff. But you know, creating the product's been like writing a book. I've been working on it since July, and I was recording this morning. It's Sunday, you know, so it's a lot of work. But basically, I have been working towards turning A Life I Choose into transitioning it from being a freelance situation into a business. You know, it's going to be a business that has systems in place that run itself, right? So we have the product, we have the lifestyle strategists, we have Nick creating content, we have Elaine taking care of client care, and then, you know, when I need to take time out to welcome my baby into the world, I can do that. And then when, you know, I'm ready to see my clients again, I can do that as well. This is what I've been working towards since August, when I was told I wasn't ovulating. And once I saw that I had a plan in place, and once I started seeing results, my body relaxed, and we found out on Boxing Day, so the day after Christmas, that we're expecting a baby. And now I was quite hesitant to share this story, and the reason I was hesitant is because I know that there are so many people who struggle with fertility, and there are some people I know who have been struggling with fertility for years. And so I don't want to put this story out there like, oh my god, like, look at me, I figured everything out, I'm so amazing. Like, not at all. Like, that's not at all. And I really feel for people who are struggling with fertility, and if there's something I'm grateful for from my experience of, you know, kind of struggling with conception for a while, is that it really taught me about that experience, what it's like to go through it, the doubt, the fear, the wondering if it will ever happen, imagining what your life's going to be like without children. It also taught me how much I want children and how much I want to just be with my children and be present with them. So this is in no way me saying, hey, look, I figured it out and, you know, I'm so clever or whatever. It's just, you know, I know that not everybody is aware of the link between belief and biology. I'm also aware that people have different issues, and you know, it's not necessarily a matter of belief. Sometimes there's a biological block, you know. So I'm not saying it's a one size fits all, but I wanted to share my story because in a lot of cases, or in some cases, you know, it is a matter of biology and belief working, you know, kind of there being in a conflict and there being a block. So I just wanted to share it in case it's relevant for you or somebody you know, and it could be helpful. So yeah, so Pete and I found out on Boxing Day. I'm now 13 weeks pregnant, so I'm nearing the end of the first trimester. It's been interesting, it's been very, very tiring, and the nausea is just awful, but it's also been a real blessing, and I really do feel blessed and very, very grateful that I get to become a mother and Pete gets to become a father, and that we're doing this together after almost 10 years of loving each other. And today we are finding out the sex of the baby. So basically what happened was that a couple of days ago we had a scan done, and because of COVID restrictions, Pete's not allowed to come into the room. And I knew there was the possibility that we would find out the sex of the baby at that scan. So the day before, my sister told me, she said, like, why don't you ask the doctor to write down the sex of the baby on a piece of paper, you know, so that he won't tell you and you and Pete aren't together. Write it down on a piece of paper and then give it to me. Don't look at it, give it straight to me, and I will make, I will have a cake made in the color, you know, pink for a girl and blue for a boy. And so that's what we did. And so today, this afternoon, we're meeting as a family and we're going to see in cake version what sex our baby is, and only Lulu knows. And yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super grateful for Lulu for coming up with this idea, because it's a really beautiful idea. So you'll come along with us for that, and then I'll end this just a short vlog. And I'm not gonna get back into the habit of vlogging weekly or anything like that, but occasionally I think that I will just document the special moments along the way, or anything that I feel inspired to share. But anyway, it's really nice to be here again and to be dialoguing with you. And if you want to leave any comments below, let me know how you've been doing, you know, and it's been a while. But also, you know, go and follow me over on Instagram, because I'm so much more active on Instagram. I'm there every day except weekends, but on Mondays we do a Q&A, so you can actually like interact with me. I answer your questions, and we do a Q&A on different topics every week. Like last week we had a topic about momentum, next week it's about self-love, and then we're going to be doing I've forgotten, we had a week on relationships. Anyway, we always have like different stuff coming up. So yeah, come and join us. It's a super nice vibe, very nice warm, welcoming community. So anyway, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this vlog. The rest of it will be short, but anyway, we'll speak soon. Bye.
Should I take off his baby ski? Hello, how nice.
Oh, Louisa.
Where do you get all this stuff from, Lou?
Once upon a time, the decorations, Mandolina, the gluten-free cake,
Wow.
Lulu Cafe, the cupcakes
Wow.
for us non-gluten.
And
How
Mommy
nice.
Ready? Georgie, go closer to Peter.
Look, can you see?
One,
I can't see.
two,
Okay, is there a plate, Mom?
I can see. I saw it.
Doesn't matter, just pick it up.
Just do it.
Yeah, Mommy. Yeah, Mama.
A friend for second. It's a boy, Georgie.
Rogelio.